Coinbase will defend itself vigorously in litigation if it comes to that. But it does not have to come to that. We will show up at your offices any day, any time to discuss a workable path forward for our industry. But we won't find that path without true dialogue.
Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan, and that was the Coinbase CFO. And Coinbase made an announcement today. They are officially part of the crypto exodus, leaving the United States for greener digital asset pastures with a new international perpetual trading exchange where you can trade on a 5-time leverage. Perpetual futures accounted for nearly 75% of the global crypto trading volume in 2022, so no doubt the Coinbase stockholders love this move. And a little reminder that no matter what you hear out there, XRP, the digital asset, is being used in India for on-demand liquidity. It's one of the key corridors, according to Tranglo, and today they had even another announcement to confirm that. About 11 hours ago, they had a long thread on Twitter, and they started out with first, Ripple, ODL, is in India. The payment solution offers optimized liquidity for cross-border payments, including complex corridors like Brazil, Mexico, India, and Southeast Asia, using XRP as a neutral bridge for various fiat currency pairs. If you come across anybody who says that ODL is not in India, you can point him to the Tranglo thread. King Solomon had a wonderful interview with the Ripple CTO, David Schwartz. It's on the Genfinity Lighthouse YouTube channel. And they talk about XLS20, that was for the NFTs, and it's been a huge success. Also, stability and scalability. There's been improvements on the XRP ledger. And from a technical standpoint, it's been phenomenal. Maybe not sexy, as David says, but it's been really great from a technical perspective. And in 2023, the AMM, the automated market maker, along with identity solutions and removing more barriers for adoption, is going to be the focus. At the end, it was really cute the way they talked about Bob Way. David was surprised that he had joined the Expector team, but had a lot of really wonderful things to say about Bob. It was a great interview. One of my favorites this year. Today, the market is moving sideways, and I'm going to let 2 clips take you out of this video. The first one is a clip that I worked up from my Patreons. Very often, I come across incredibly interesting videos, but I know not everybody has the chance to sit down and watch an hour of content, so I clip them up. This video was really good. It was, especially if you like contrarian thinking. And then the second one I think is a little fun because it is about someone who is very, very popular in the XRP community. And we haven't seen his face before, although his work has been well known and well received and super popular. I had him on the channel, and I have a little clip of that as well. So do enjoy. Sayonara for now. Take care. Bye-bye.
I think there is anti-dollar hype right now. I think there is a lot of emotion and a lot of excitement about the possibility for it. So I'm not going to downplay the number of headlines, the excitement with which they're made, and the desire. There is great desire for this to happen. I think the likelihood of it paying off or playing out is, at least to the extent that many are people just accepting as a given, is extremely unlikely. And all of these programs that these headlines are talking about, at this point, they are plans, right? And if you read the articles carefully, they will often say something like, we have entered into an agreement to start discussions about a potential plan that could one day be implemented. So none of these headlines say it's going to happen right now. You have to pay attention to them when that big of a portion of the world's economy makes announcements. To just ignore it would be stupid. So I don't ignore it, but I also just don't take everything as complete fact, because these announcements have been around for a long time. This problem that's being dealt with by the rest of the world, this de-dollarization problem, is an extremely complicated one. And it's extremely complicated for a number of reasons. And I understand all the reasons they would love to get out from underneath this system, but it's just much easier to say than do. And if all it took was anger and frustration to de-dollarize, the world would have been de-dollarized decades ago. But the problem here is that every time we have had some kind of a global slowdown, economic slowdown, or a global crisis over the last 25 years, you always see the US dollar spike in that scenario. So now, if we're going through some kind of a great reset, or we're going into some kind of a conflict, or we're going into some kind of a deglobalization, that is probably not going to be a smooth transition, even if everybody was getting along and trying to do it in a cooperating manner. I think even under the best circumstances, it would be volatile. But this will not be done under the best of circumstances. The world is no longer cooperating to the same extent it was. And the US, for better or worse, whether you think they should or shouldn't, will not just stand by and watch as its place in the world is degraded. And so I think they will push back, and that will lead to volatility. And so I think what's going to happen is we're going to get into a crisis, and I think the dollar is going to spike just like it always does. I don't think it's different this time. The whole point of me pounding the table on the dollar over the last 3 or 4 years is not to convince everybody that I'm right. It's to convince everybody not to bet everything that I'm wrong. Because if you bet everything that I'm wrong and things play out the way they always have, you're going to get crushed. And so, the reality is that's a big part of what I see a lot of bad takes on how this is going to play out. And it's not that they can't play out that way. It's just that the probability of them playing out that way is extremely low. But I've talked to too many investors over the years who they hear something like this. They say, oh my gosh, I have to get out of dollars. And they run and they put 70% of their portfolio in gold or uranium or some kind of hard asset or some kind of an anti-dollar play or an anti-United States play. And rather than just, playing the probabilities, they go all in on it. And I really want to kind of help people understand why you shouldn't go all in against the United States and against the US dollar. Again, it's important to understand that fiat currency loses value over the time. It's important to understand that empires always fall at some point. But it's also important to understand that, inevitable is not the same thing as imminent. And going in on a low probability event is not the same thing as going in on a high probability event. And this gets a little philosophical, but in many ways, global reserve currencies are not about economics. They're really about power. And it's about an imposition of will. And whoever the biggest, baddest boy or girl on the block is typically enforces their will. Now, you might not have to like that, but that's typically what history plays out as. And if you're going to do business with the biggest, baddest girl or boy on the block, you're probably going to have to use their currency or whatever they would like you to use.
You may have seen the latest work shown here by the Twitter account XRP. They have captured members of the crypto community to the music of Bon Jovi, Livin' on a Prayer. With a love for all things artistic and a deep appreciation for the power of blockchain technology, a small creative team with Roman, Dmitry, and Sergey, they're pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the world of animation and digital art. Dmitry was born and raised in Ukraine and still working from Ukraine. He joined me on the channel and shared some precious insight into his world. Please enjoy this sneak peek with more to follow. Hey, everybody. It's Eddie from Tokyo, and I have a very special guest with me, someone from the community, somebody who has been creative in a way that is over the top. And it's really fun to put a face with it. Dmitry, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me for this show. I am art director and lead artist at XRP.
Well, for everyone who watches my videos, probably they are familiar with the dragon. The blue dragon is combined with Mount Fuji and a torii shrine and beautiful falling cherry blossoms. That graphic that I use sometimes in the intro, sometimes at the outro. I just love it, and I get so many comments on it. But I want to thank you so much for making that. You recently did something with blockchain backer and drumming, his drum set, which I thought was very fun.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer.
Just so much of it is so adds such great entertainment and smiles to the community for sure, Dimitri. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you a lot. I think the biggest reward for an artist is appreciation. I decided to mint a collection of all of my artworks that were produced over a year and a half. You can check and review the collection at crypto-avatars.xyz. It will consist of 20 animations. All videos are cinematic animations and dedicated to XRP personalities, influencers, or some kind of events even.
How long have you been in the XRP community?
I think I started to follow more than 3 years ago. I think I've been introduced into crypto in a bull run in 2017.
Yeah, you've been around a while. This skill that you have, are you using this skill also in your everyday life?
Yes. I did animation before I started art project. I was working as a freelancer. The main focus was producing kind of product animations, explainers for businesses, and video post-production. I never did 3D character animation, so it was very new for me, and I'm learning while creating this.
Yeah, I think you did some amazing work especially in the representation of the real people themselves. Your animated characters look so true to who you are, using as your subject matter. It's great.
Ether is, a coin that has been evolving. The network is evolving. We think when we look at how Ether today is operating, at least, we see a highly decentralized network, and we don't see a central third party where folks are saying, oh, if that person does these things, this will be giving me an investment return. So we don't see that key third-party actor. We do see it being highly decentralized. The governance is decentralized. Things that occur on that network are very public. The developer conferences are very open. We don't see those information asymmetries. So what we're trying to say is we don't see a lot of value in treating Ether today as a security.